Want to create a project in Azure DevOps, but would like to understand the settings? You're in the right place. This video, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I upload some new video. Creating a new project in Azure DevOps requires you to sign into your Azure DevOps organization. If you haven't got an organization yet, please click on the card above and go through the tutorial where I talk you through the process. Let's jump onto the computer and we can log into our Azure DevOps instance. On the project form, we've got project name. So let's put in test project. This is what the project will be called and will be part of the URL for all aspects of the project. Description is the next field. This is a short description to explain what the project's goals or vision is and will be displayed on the summary page. It's useful for project team members or new project members to understand the purpose or the goal of the project. Visibility, public and private. If you would like to have anyone come to access your code, it could be an open source project you are working on an example. The public is the right choice for you. If this is grayed out, then the organization has a security policy not to allow public repositories. For details, please head over to the card above. Whereas if you're working on a project just for your organization, then private is the best choice for you. If you'd like to understand how to lock down the public projects, head over to the card above, and that will give you details on how to set a policy to lock down access to creating new public projects. Now let's head down to advanced. Version control. You need to decide if you're going to be using Git or Team Foundation version control. There are positives and negatives to each of these, but remember, these aren't the only options. You could be using another source control system and disable repos altogether. Other source control systems supported by Azure DevOps pipelines include Bitbucket Cloud, GitHub, GitHub Enterprise Server, Subversion, and there's many other Git repositories it will support. If you're coming from a Team Foundation server background, you'll be more familiar with Team Foundation version control, where there is only one version of the codebase on the client's PCs, and the client tools are also a bit restricted. You require special plugins to use this. It's also great for large repositories. Compare that with Git, which is a distributed source control system. The client tooling is vast, as Git is an open source version control system, so it can be used with Eclipse, Xcode, IntelliJ. The concept is that you have lots smaller repositories in a modular approach instead of having one large repository. Don't worry though, if you choose the wrong one, it doesn't matter. Once you've created your project, head over to the repos area and you'll be able to create a new source code repository. Bear in mind that if you're using a public project, you can only use Git, and for all the other private projects, you can only have one Team Foundation version control repository per project. If we now head over to the process work items, the processes only impact the boards area of Azure DevOps, which are the work items or to-do items for your project. There's Agile, where you want to keep track of your user stories. Basic, just to keep track of simple tasks. CMMI, for formal approach and risk management. Scrum, if you're following this Scrum methodology. Don't worry though, if the process isn't 100% what you want, you can alter the process and even switch to another if you require. And as you can see, we've now created our new test project. If I head back up to the main dashboard, we can see there's a description there. And let's click on test project, where we've got overview. So this is the overview of the project, including a dashboard to give us the capabilities to look at graphs and charts around the progress of this project. Wiki, so that we can keep some documentation around the project. In boards, you've got your work items, and this is where you're going to be planning your projects. And repos for the source control of your files or scripts. Pipelines, and this is where the logic for your build and releases will be kept. Test plans is where you'd be storing your tests and also your group of tests, which are called test plans. Finally, there's artifacts. And this is where you keep your shared code. Please click on subscribe and YouTube will notify you when there's a new